Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And it's a pleasure for me to welcome you back, everyone, to this amazing panel. This afternoon, as you know, we have four panels at the same time, and I have a really good one. I'm quite happy. And we're going to speak about Palestine, silk and dyes. We're going to speak about three-dimensional digital reconstruction of a silk mill, about silk in the body armor of the Russian Empire, and of course, Venice and the silk. So it's a quite complete panel, and I'm really happy. Our first speaker is Cristina Expósito de Vicente, and I'm going to speak now in Spanish. She es una historiadora del arte por la Universidad de Valencia y máster en Ciencias de las Religiones. Forma parte del grupo de investigación de dicha universidad denominado Biblia, Textos y Iconografía. Actualmente es doctoranda del programa en Ciencias de las Religiones de la Universidad Complutense de Madrid y su principal línea de investigación es el estudio del color desde perspectivas físico-químicas. Y nada, es un placer para mí presentarte, Cristina,
Muchas
y a
gracias,
partir de
Mar.
ahora, the floor is yours, como decimos, así es que adelante y con tu presentación.
Comparto y me indica si se ve todo correcto, por favor,
Sí,
si
sí,
me
sí,
indica.
perfecto. Si quieres compartir todo, pantalla y cámara y lo que sea.
Ah, bueno, no pasa nada.
Perfecto, pues nada, te dejo.
Muchísimas gracias. Bueno, reitero mi agradecimiento a Mar por esta presentación y sobre todo al grupo de investigación SIGNOW por esta bonita oportunidad de compartir y de intercambiar investigaciones. Como muy bien ha dicho Mar, nosotras abordaremos una propuesta de un itinerario de turismo cultural sostenible, en concreto en las localidades de Gaza, Jerusalén Oriental y Cisjordania. Está con la finalidad de buscar un impacto positivo en el empoderamiento de las mujeres palestinas y el desarrollo humano. Un poquito para introducirles el índice de lo que vamos a abordar. Perdón, ya está. Vamos a intentar abarcar las primeras referencias de la denominación de la seda, en concreto en tema bíblico, para luego poder comprender el arraigo de la ruta de la seda en todo Oriente Próximo. A medida que los siglos fueron pasando, esta ruta de la seda quedó en el olvido y se materializó en el concepto de nuevas rutas de la seda, donde veremos la importancia de China, la gran potencia económica asiática. Para finalizar con una contrapropuesta a esta iniciativa desde parte de China, más realista y asentada en el territorio palestino. Iniciamos pues situándonos históricamente y cronológicamente, estamos en el área de Oriente Próximo, donde actualmente el arraigo que tiene la manufactura de textiles es muy elevado. Si nos remontamos a la antigüedad, podemos encontrar en las fuentes históricas, en concreto sagradas, como la Biblia, referencias al elemento material de la seda. Les coloco aquí la denominación en la que aparece. Es un poco complejo porque solo aparece dos veces. La primera es en la denominación que es hebreo, concretamente en el libro de Ezequiel, y simplemente les voy a leer la pequeña línea donde aparece, en relación a Yahvé, es decir, Dios en el ámbito judío, cuando habla de los dones que le ofrece a Israel y la personifican en una mujer y le dicen: te lavé con agua, te limpié la sangre de encima y te ungí con óleo. Te vestí de recamado, te calcé de piel y te ceñí lino fino y te cubrí de seda. Es decir, todo lo que está mencionando es ornamentos femeninos de muy elevado valor. Pero es cierto que debemos especificar que esta palabra mesi se ha traducido como seda, pero no hay una traducción consensuada. Sería más correcto decir telas preciosas. Pero en cambio, aquí la siguiente palabra que les hemos situado se llama sericon. Sericon es una denominación griega y aparece en el libro del Apocalipsis. Y en el contexto de todas las riquezas que poseía Babilonia. Y decía: y los mercaderes de la tierra llorarán y harán duelo por ella, porque nadie les comprará ya la mercancía. Mercancías de oro, plata, piedras preciosas, perlas, telas de lino, púrpura, seda y escarlata. Como ven, también todo elementos de lujo considerado. Entonces, en este pasaje, sericon, la palabra es completamente, la traducción es seda y es de donde proviene nuestra terminología en español. Ambos términos se han asociado también al ámbito de contexto sagrado, incluso relacionados con colorantes. Es decir, en el mundo judío, en las fuentes bíblicas, disponemos de referencias donde se utilizan sedas tintadas y textiles tintados para recubrir el espacio más sagrado de culto judío. En esto nos hacemos referencia al tabernáculo, que les hemos puesto una imagen aquí. El tabernáculo era una tienda móvil en el desierto que disponía en su interior del Arca de la Alianza, el emblema de la alianza del pueblo con Yahvé. y fue heredado posteriormente por el Templo de Jerusalén, que actualmente, como ustedes bien saben, no existe y está la Mezquita de la Roca en Jerusalén, pero se mencionaba, Flavio Josefo nos menciona, delante de ellas, de las puertas del templo, hace alusión, y de su mismo tamaño había un velo, una cortina de Babilonia bordada en color violeta, escarlata y púrpura. Es decir, toda esta tradición de tintes será la que posteriormente en la Edad Media los judíos y asimilando la tradición musulmana llegarán hasta nuestras costas mediterráneas e implementarán en Valencia pues el gran gremio de los artesanos conocidos como velluters, que quiere decir terciopelo, y aprendieron el antiguo oficio del trabajo de la seda valenciano desde la tradición musulmana que es la primogénita. Entonces, en ambos términos, tanto meshi como silicón mencionados, podemos ver una relación directa entre esta industria de la seda con bienes de consumo de lujo. Esta asociación se consolidó completamente en el siglo I antes de la era común, cuando la ocupación grecorromana llegó a Israel con el emperador Pompeyo y la demanda de este tipo de vestimentas para su uso, hablamos del textil concreto de la seda, se intensificó. Esto provocó que la ruta de la seda abriera sus campos hacia todo el mar Mediterráneo y las tierras que lo bañan. La ruta de la seda se creó en el siglo I antes de la era común. Entonces estamos en estas mismas cronologías. Debemos imaginarnos una serie de caminos, rutas, que principalmente lo que transportaban era un comercio sedero, pero que también podemos encontrar intercambio de especias, perfumes, pigmentos, piedras preciosas, realmente todo tipo de mercancías valiosas, y el origen se sitúa en Xi'an, que es la primera ciudad china que les he colocado en el listado. Posteriormente, esta ruta de caminos pasaba por Mongolia, Pakistán, Persia, Uzbekistán, he repetido Pakistán, pero y llegaba hasta las costas fenicias, es decir, a la actual Israel, la zona norte de Israel. Esto es muy importante porque a través de Tiro, la ciudad con el puerto más grande, se expande este comercio de la seda a todo el Mediterráneo, hasta llegar a toda la zona de Turquía, Grecia, Italia en los siglos XV y XVI y finalmente desembocar en la península ibérica, que como bien sabemos en estas cronologías se ganó el nombre de la ciudad de la seda, con la lonja de la seda que todavía a día de hoy conservamos. Unos siglos después de la creación de esta ruta de la seda, lo que ocurre es que en el siglo VII, el imperio del musulmán ocupa Persia. Esto lo que provocó es que además de anexionar todos esos territorios persas bajo su mandato, el mandato del Islam, se anexionaron también toda la potestad sobre la ruta de la seda. Por lo tanto, con este control absoluto de la ruta de la seda, fueron realmente los musulmanes, los que expandieron la manufactura, las técnicas, los tintes, los colorantes, hasta nuestras costas mediterráneas. En Occidente, el trabajo de la seda principalmente era una cuestión varonil. Es cierto que para algunos trabajos de manufactura más delicados se utilizaba mano de obra femenina, pero esto no era así en Oriente Próximo. En Oriente Próximo era una actividad practicada por mujeres para mujeres, pues sobre todo porque la vestimenta tradicional musulmana tiene de base la seda. Así lo testifica Marco Polo en sus viajes y actualmente, que es lo más curioso, ¿no? Esta importancia del textil a un nivel económico se está manteniendo en zonas palestinas y especialmente esta gran repercusión la encontramos en las mujeres. Además, que son las encargadas de continuar con toda esta tradición sedera que, como hemos mencionado, procede desde la época de la ruta de la seda e incluso anteriormente, y permite que puedan en pequeñas localidades desarrollar una economía en un nivel doméstico. En este ámbito la ruta de la seda variará y implementará más territorios, pero efectivamente con el desarrollo de nuevas técnicas, nuevos avances, creación de nuevos imperios, hacia el siglo XVI, la ruta que unía Oriente con Occidente empezó a languidecer y los grandes mercaderes como Marco Polo en sus relatos pues quedaban más en el olvido y quedó hacia el siglo XVIII la ruta de la seda como tal se convirtió más bien en un recuerdo exótico. Esto variará en el siglo XIX, cuando el geógrafo alemán Ferdinand von Richthofen resucita la denominación de la ruta de la seda, pero en plural, añadiendo unas especificaciones muy interesantes que fue muy bien acogido por la sociedad, ya que Ferdinand von Richthofen lo que proponía es que las rutas de la seda eran aquellas redes de intercambio que disponía China con sus regiones colindantes. Por lo tanto, ya está cambiando el punto de inflexión de lo que tradicionalmente significaba ruta de la seda. Esto posteriormente fue recuperado por Peter Frankopan, como les he puesto aquí, y la expresión rutas de la seda ya no únicamente está refiriéndose a un camino marcado en el que se intercambian diferentes materiales o diferentes técnicas, culturas, tradiciones e incluso concepciones teológicas, sino que las rutas de la seda se convierten en la forma en que los pueblos, las culturas, todos estos continentes se entretejen, se mezclan, fusionan sus cosmovisiones y al hacerlo ayudan a comprender mejor el modo en el que el pasado se propagaron. Y de ese modo se propagan religiones, arte, cultura, sociedad y se influencian unas a otras. Por lo tanto, estamos ante una denominación muchísimo más antropológica, podríamos decir. En esta línea, recuperando la denominación rutas de la seda, en 2013 China lanza su gran proyecto económico al mundo, denominado Rutas de la Seda. Con este recuerdo suscito de esa antigua ruta. ¿Qué propone China? Propone la creación de una red de nuevas rutas de la seda con una finalidad muy clara: construir infraestructuras en países de un bajo desarrollo o con necesidades de desarrollo, y en concreto las marca en Asia, como ustedes pueden ver ahí, África y Europa. Y especifican muy bien que son infraestructuras de rápida urgencia. Esto se tradujo en la iniciativa del Cinturón Rojo y la Ruta de la Seda, o también conocida como OBOR, es decir, One Belt, One Road. Todo este programa y esta gran iniciativa económica se programó de 2013 hasta 2049. Es un año emblemático porque para China se cumplen los 100 años de su República Popular, como dato curioso. ¿Qué abarca esta iniciativa? Esta iniciativa abarca un total de 70 países, entre los que están inmersos España, y propone una nueva red de esquemas continentales de conectividad. Entonces, tanto a nivel marítimo, que si se fijan en la imagen son las líneas de color azulado en la parte inferior, como una red territorial, que son las líneas en la parte superior de color rojo. No únicamente es en todas esas zonas, sino que deben ver todas las zonas colindantes a esa ruta que marca China. A día de hoy, muchísimos países son los que se han beneficiado de estas transformaciones, porque tenemos que tener en cuenta que esto conlleva una gran suma de dinero incorporada. Prueba de ello, aquí les pongo una imagen. Bueno, estos son efectivamente cómo está en alza, son noticias del 2019. Cada vez más países se van añadiendo a estas nuevas rutas de la seda y España se unió en 2017, como pueden ver en esta imagen, a su izquierda. Lo que es más interesante es que se creó un tren, con estas sumas económicas de dinero, un tren que conecta Madrid con Yiwu, que es una ciudad en la zona china, es un tren de más o menos 13.000 kilómetros de recorrido, 21 días está para realizar todo el trayecto, y consiste en transportar materiales asiáticos a España, con la finalidad a futuro de que España pueda retornar ese tren con sus materiales, cosa que a día de hoy no está claro. Pero en toda esta atmósfera de intercambios, de luchas de poder y de, bueno, inyecciones económicas a muy gran escala, suscita mucho interés Palestina para China en estas nuevas rutas de la seda y su interés de afianzar uno de los puntos de paso. Efectivamente, hasta el momento no se ha visto la finalidad concreta del OBOR, es decir, de las nuevas rutas de la seda, no se ha visto claramente, está muy diluida entre un interés territorial y un control más de las rutas marítimas y territoriales por lucha de poderes, como os he mencionado. ¿Qué ocurre? Palestina se convierte en un enclave estratégico. Tenemos que tener en cuenta la Franja de Gaza, como ustedes bien saben, esta imagen que les pongo es en verde el actual Estado de Israel y en amarillo el actual Estado de Palestina o las zonas que les han dejado. Franja de Gaza, como ven ustedes en la parte sur, es una situación estratégica porque es la apertura al mar Mediterráneo junto con Tel Aviv y Haifa, si lo ven un poco más arriba, que son los otros dos puertos israelíes. En 2017, si no me equivoco, si ven aquí esta imagen de su derecha, está el presidente del Estado de Israel con el mano derecha del presidente de China firmando el acuerdo de que Israel entra a formar parte de las nuevas rutas de la seda. Esto quiere decir que en 2 años el mercado chino tiene la completa autoridad de entradas y salidas del puerto de Israel. Es curioso que el mercado chino sitúe en Palestina su sede, ya que Palestina está en una situación muy compleja, muy inestable, entonces es fácil esa ocupación. Desde esta propuesta lo que queremos hacer es ese cuestionamiento crítico de este interés, ya que a día de hoy no se ha visto un desarrollo humano ni una ayuda al pueblo palestino a través de esta inyección de dinero. Una ayuda que siempre desde China se mantiene, que es a través de las producciones tradicionales de cada pueblo. En esa línea queremos hacer una propuesta, más bien una contrapropuesta, sería mucho más correcto decirlo, una contrapropuesta a este gigante asiático que puesto en tela de juicio este interés por un diálogo internacional cuando no se ha tenido en cuenta la presencia de Palestina o a su propio pueblo. En esta línea queremos asentarlo unos itinerarios de turismo cultural sostenibles en Cisjordania, Jerusalén Este y la Franja de Gaza. En esta línea recopilamos las ideas de recuperar el papel de las mujeres palestinas en la industria textil sedera, en la línea de pensamiento de Guidal Kamel Kawar. Guidal es una coleccionista con más de 3.000 piezas de seda, con su libro publicado en 2011, Hilos de Identidad, y lo que busca es revalorizar la industria de la seda, poniendo el foco de atención en esas mujeres que muchas veces son anónimas, en esas manos femeninas que trabajan la seda y que convierten en consumidoras de esa seda con los trajes regionales típicos Tobe, que ahora podremos ver en unas imágenes. Lo que busca Guidad Kamel es empoderar a esta mujer, recuperar la herencia cultural y convertirlo en un pilar económico del pueblo palestino. De aquí que nosotros planteemos esta propuesta que ahora la doctora
incluir lo presentará. Nada, muy brevemente porque Cristina lo estaba haciendo muy bien. Bueno, tanto Cristina como yo estuvimos hace 2 años en estos... en estos territorios y tuvimos la oportunidad de entrevistarnos con el decano de la University College of Educational Science de Ramallah, ¿no? Ramallah es la capital del Estado palestino y tuvimos la suerte de que nos atendió y bueno, nos presentó el modelo de universidad que tenían allí. Esta es una universidad que está pensada para que la población palestina pueda adquirir a clase, a tomar titulaciones que están vinculadas con las ciencias y con las artes, efectivamente, y que pueden servir para empoderar también en la línea del empoderamiento, es decir, generar empleos que permitan conservar actividades productivas que son importantes para ellos y que también les dan identidad como pueblo palestino. Entonces, bueno, pues al hilo de esas conversaciones y después de reflexionarlo mucho, creemos que efectivamente una de las titulaciones que se podría implementar, hay que decir que el decano estuvo muy abierto en todo momento a que se hicieran propuestas, ¿no?, en esa línea, ¿no? Algunas de las titulaciones que tienen son inglés, matemáticas, y luego hay otra razón que nos hizo pensar que una titulación en artes, donde se pudieran recuperar este tipo de artesanías y artes tradicionales que dan identidad al pueblo palestino, es que el 70%, 60-70% del alumnado son mujeres. Eso es algo que nos comentó él, que tienen solo 6 titulaciones y el balance en las 6 titulaciones es que en un 60% las alumnas son mujeres. Mujeres que además tienen los programas de estudio muy adaptados, por ejemplo, pues si es Ramadán, no se va. Es decir, todo está muy adaptado al calendario musulmán, eso para ellos y para ellas, pero luego teniendo en cuenta que muchas pueden ser madres, entonces que eso significa escuela o significa dentro de lo que es el día unas horas en las que no podrían estar en el aula, es decir, que han tenido muy en cuenta, y eso es muy importante, a veces de todo esto hay que aprender también, ¿no? Y lo hicimos desde el marco universitario. Ellos saben que están en un contexto muy complejo, porque esto es Palestina, es territorios ocupados, y en medio de toda esa causística, a través de la Agencia de las Naciones Unidas para los Refugiados y Refugiadas de Palestina en Oriente Próximo, esto es la UNRWA, nace una universidad que plantea titulaciones muy interesantes, pero que buscan, uno, garantizar que se pueda ir a clase, teniendo en cuenta calendario, teniendo en cuenta causística de mucho tipo, social, económica, etcétera, y en segundo lugar, titulaciones que sean atractivas o que puedan captar palestinas, mujeres palestinas. Entonces, en medio de todo ese análisis que nos presentó el decano y como parte de un trabajo postdoctoral que va a seguir a la tesis doctoral de mi compañera Cristina Expósito, vamos a ir un poquito también en esa línea, es decir, vamos a tratar, ya se han establecido los contactos, de abrir esa posibilidad, crear un grado en artes que, adaptado al territorio, permita recuperar artes y artesanías, en este caso la de la industria sedera y la industria textil en general, permitan empoderarlas a ellas y efectivamente empoderarlas a nivel económico, pero también en términos de identidad como pueblo y económicamente, es decir, que ellas participen en una actividad productiva que tiene sentido y significado en Palestina de forma milenaria, como muy bien ha explicado mi compañera, con un origen, con referencias bíblicas. Entonces, recuperar todo eso tan tradicional y tan importante, con sentido y significado para el pueblo palestino, y adaptarlo en un momento muy complejo para ellos y que puede abrir incluso pues vías hacia el diálogo, ¿no? Es una propuesta totalmente contrapunto a la del gran gigante chino, como ha comentado nuestra compañera, pero también más realista. Esta es grande, esta es potente, esta es mundial, la del gigante chino, pero la nuestra y la que, por los diálogos que tuvimos con el decano de la University College of Educational Science de Ramallah, desde luego es como más puntual, específica y teniendo en cuenta las condiciones de allí, ¿no? Es decir, quien ha estado en terreno, quien ve la situación, quien sabe cómo son las cosas allí, se da cuenta que, bueno, esta es una universidad pequeña, con apoyo de las Naciones Unidas, con programas muy realistas para ese contexto, y entre esos programas, un plan de estudios en artes, en la línea de recuperar todo ese tejido artesanal, sería de lo más coherente y, desde luego, tendría una incidencia directa a nivel social y económico, que es lo que buscamos. Que no se pierda, que siga dando identidad. Pensemos que la identidad es la vía para el fortalecimiento comunitario, y desde el fortalecimiento comunitario se genera desarrollo local. Por lo tanto, una titulación de este tipo en una universidad en el corazón de la capital palestina y una universidad, insistimos, de perfil extremadamente femenino, puede servir para generar desde la seda, desde el textil, identidad cultural, fortalecimiento comunitario y desarrollo local, que siempre significa mucho más que desarrollo económico, aunque en cualquier caso, al ser una actividad productiva, también entraría en la parte económica.
Muchas gracias por su atención.
Gracias.
Sí. Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchísimas gracias por vuestra presentación. Sí que os pediría que apaguéis YouTube, el enlace a YouTube, si lo tenéis encendido, porque había momentos que no se nos acoplaba el YouTube. No sé si lo tenéis encendido. Ah, vale. Bueno, muchísimas gracias. Ha sido una presentación bastante interesante. De hecho, me ha encantado lo de empoderar a través del tejido. Me ha parecido verdaderamente fantástico, poético,
dejar de compartir. ¿Estoy dejando de compartir ya?
Ah, vale. Todavía no. Ahora sí que se deja compartir.
Disculpad si nos hemos pasado unos 3-4 minutos, pero nada. Correctamente. Muchas gracias por su atención.
Una maravilla. Y creo que sí que tenemos una pregunta, Cristina, antes de que te vayas.
Por supuesto, sí. Claro.
Yo digo, a ver si... me preguntan si esta propuesta o contrapropuesta, como la habéis llamado, ¿creéis que se puede replicar en otras zonas? Porque, bueno, parece bastante interesante si pudiéramos hacer esto.
Muy interesante porque colaboramos con ONRUA. ONRUA es bueno, digamos, como la sección de las Naciones Unidas encargada de los refugiados y refugiadas en Palestina. Con ONRUA, el del Departamento de Educación, diferentes emplazamientos geográficos están situados con ellos. Uno de ellos, como muy bien han dicho, es la Universidad de la FESA, que es la que trabajamos, pero creemos que es un modelo que se podría replicar fácilmente en otros aspectos, por ejemplo, en Jordania, en Amán, en toda es cierto que en la Franja de Gaza ahora, a nivel universitario, están saliendo fuera, están saliendo a Cisjordania. Pero perfectamente toda la zona de Cisjordania podría tener una réplica, bueno, si llega a buen puerto, muy, muy positiva. Creemos que muy positiva.
Sí, bueno, yo creo que sí. De verdad, es que me ha parecido fantástico y sobre todo, también otra frase que habéis dicho, que las rutas de la seda entretejen pueblos, culturas y continentes. Y yo creo que es realidad. Nosotros en Silgnau siempre decimos que la seda, el tejido no es simplemente la materialidad, sino que detrás es un vehículo de emociones, historias, narrativas, y creo que vosotros lo habéis sacado.
Y creo que eso es el valor identitario que se debe recuperar. No solamente es del propio pueblo como a nivel geográfico y espacial, sino creemos que una recuperación identitaria ayudaría muchísimo también.
Y una pregunta, y esta pregunta creo que es más mía, que creo que no la han hecho antes, pero sí que me gustaría saber qué tanto las mujeres que están en este programa y que están recuperando esa identidad, ¿de alguna manera estáis siguiendo el programa constantemente? ¿Habéis tenido alguna dificultad o todo va como la seda, nunca mejor dicho?
Exacto. Bueno, realmente la implementación del grado como tal están en vías de desarrollo. Pero es cierto que lo que tienen implementado hasta el momento, que podríamos hablar de ello perfectamente, es muy positivo porque revierte plenamente en la comunidad. Y eso es lo que busca siempre la universidad y ONRUA. Es decir, formar a estudiantes refugiados y refugiadas para que reviertan esa propia comunidad. O sea, no haya una fuga de cerebros, nunca mejor dicha. De ese modo están viendo un crecimiento exponencial a nivel académico, a nivel investigador. Están formando a las chicas y a los chicos para que estudien, para que investiguen y se hagan, por ejemplo, un doctorado y genere pues, calidad académica. Y al final la educación es el mejor arma para un pueblo.
Sí, efectivamente, me encanta. Muchísimas gracias, Cristina. Si puedo pedir, si quieres, claro, por supuesto, si te quedas en el panel con el micro silenciado, escuchar al resto de compañeros y compañeras.
Será un placer escuchar a todas las compañeras. Un saludo.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you, Cristina, and I'm going to change to English right now. Please give us just a couple of minutes because we are going to introduce you Jirika Saito. And we have a video from her because she comes from Japan, so her time schedule, it's a little bit complicated. So just give us a couple of minutes and then we go with her video. She's going to talk about three-dimensional digital reconstruction of a Western silk mill. So stay tuned, and if my link and begin with the video, that would be great. And if not, just a couple of seconds/minutes. I don't know. Belen, how do you think we can manage here?
Hola a todos and hello everyone. My name is Yurika Saito, Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology. This is a presentation from Japan. And today I would like to tell you about 3D digitation of an old-style silk mill that has come to Japan. In second half of the 19th century, silkworm disease in Europe caused the cessation of cell culture. On the other hand, Japan started exploring raw silk and built a modern steam-powered silk mill. The Tomioka Silk Mill has been designated as a World Heritage Site. On the other hand, the old-style non-stainless silk mill was also introduced to Japan. Spinning mills with current water wheels and kennel styles also contributed to Japanese technological innovation, but there was little documentation available to understand the theory of these mills. In 2017, 41 drawings of the mill were found from Museum of Science of Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology. As a result of the investigation, it was identified as the Kankoryo Silk Mill. And we attempted 3D digital reconstruction of the mill using this drawing and challenged ourselves to recreate the actual appearance of the mill. The project involved historians, architects, 3D technicians, students, and faculty. The result was a successful interpretation of the mechanical mechanism and reconstruction of the building exterior. Here is a drawing of the reeling machine. The wooden frame part was digitized. And this is the frame of the reel and connecting the power unit. Next, this is the overall view of the relay. The relay is powered by the water well and led up the thread. And the railing stand is made of bricks. The purons and underdome the feed and go up chimney. They were stuck in layers to recreate the shape. And together with the well building and these mechanical parts, we created an overall view of the mill. Take a look at the video. This is Kankoryo silk mill. This is the water well part. The power is transmitted by the belt and thread frame loaders. There are kettles and it has many chimneys. And this video is available on the museum website. And next, and we made model using a 3D printer. This is the wall building. You can see that it is a very long and narrow factory. And this is a reading table. It has a convex base and a large thread frame. And this is 3D models overlap and old map. It is same size. And discussion interested point 1. This silk mill with very many chimneys. And one interested question is that the shape of the fuel is very complex. And even in Europe, the shape of an early factory. And it is one question, and I'm interested in similarity of the drawing to the remains of the Italian Caragurio Firatoio. If you can give me some information about the silk mill during this period, I would appearance it. I would also welcome your email with your thought. Thank you for your attention and muchas gracias.
Didn't have my micro. Thank you very much for Said.
I'm ready.
Have my micro. Okay, so sorry for the audio. So our next panelist is, well, they are both Alexei Kalistronov and Rima Timofeva. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce correctly your last name. Rima, she's a PhD student in art history from St. Petersburg, and they are going to talk about a very interesting thing about the use of silk in body armor in the Russian Empire. So it's quite interesting. So Rima, welcome you to this Silk Now conference, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. They cannot see your presentation.
Okay. This is our presentation. I hope. It will. Oh, can you see my screen? Okay. The use of silk in body armor in the Russian Empire at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries is considered by us in the context of the following areas of scientific discourse. I'm sorry for my bad English. First of all, the development of military art in the second half of the 19th century and the pre-revolutionary situation at the end of the century led to special attention to the issue of the value of human life. We can see that the invention of a smokeless gunpowder and other inventions, it's very important for this topic. And the humanistic component with which we handle the mean of personal body armor allows us to bring this topic into a broader plane of philosophical understanding of the social science and humanities. Secondly, an important aspect on the plot is the study of sources in historical material science. During the period under review, the choice of the most effective material which would minimize the destructive effect of weapons took place. Thus, we turn to the history of industrial and handicraft technologies of the imperialist period. And here we can see that it was a lot of inventions in Europe, United States of America, and in Russia. Yes, I tried to share my video, but I can't. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Here we can see trying the new bulletproof clothes on the dog in 1897. Dog, bulletproof. Next, Woman Journal tests Lieutenant Seglen's new bulletproof armor. Woman, bulletproof, and bullet. After and before. Next part of our presentation is safety, inventions, and technologies. The development of personal body armor and shields in the Russian Empire at the turn of the 19th and the 20th centuries was carried out on an initiative basis and by order of the power structures. The military department, the police, and the prison department. Among the few objects preserved in private and state museum collections, those that combined different materials, including silk, and its derivatives were identified and analyzed. It was the combination of steel and silk that ensured the impenetrability of the armor or shield. In particular, silk made it possible to reduce the effects of aerodynamic impact while reducing the specific ways of protection. And materials of this kind were developed in Western Europe. Among the most famous are those proposed by Jan Szczepanik and Kazimir Ceglen. Ceglen proposed the use of multi-layer fabric consisting of unspun silk threads enclosed in a tissue sheath and silk cords or bundles of tightly twisted or bunched fibers. Here we can see this material. Later, this experience was used by Russian inventors. Among the developed samples of this kind, the most widespread were the body armor and shields by Avenir Chinerzin. The author offered a number of products designed to save a human life. The quality of the item and the competent marketing led to the receipt of the state order. And a little lyrical digression. We know that the daughter of Avenir Chinerzin, captain, inventor, she was a beautiful and very famous artist of ballet of 20th centuries, Monique Chinerzin, Ludmila Cherina. And also this woman was an author of famous sculpture, Cœur de l'Europe, à Strasbourg. In 1907, the prison department decided to purchase a set of protective equipment from Captain Chinerzin, such as shields, briefcases, and armor that covered the chest, stomach, sides, and back. According to the program adopted by the Ministry of Justice, half of the cost of such a set was paid from the budget of the department to employees who purchased such a means of protection. Different types of armor plates in these things were combined with fabric sheathing and backing layers. Different types, such this one, type 1, this is the breastplate of the State Historical Museum in Moscow, and this is type number 2, plate armor. Here we can see a photo of a protective armor of the State Central Museum of Contemporary History of Russia, and it was combined with silk elements. Picture is very bad, but I can't understand why. Chinerzin bulletproof vests and shields had a very high cost, including the cost of the materials used, and the price of each product ranged from 600 rubles. In the Russian State Historical Archive, we have a correspondence between the inventor, between Avenir Chinerzin and a company, Morden and Company, of the purchase of silk in 1950. This is Armor Testing Act, unpublished document. Next, inventors, it was Galli and Zadarnovsky. Galli and Zadarnovsky and these inventors used the silk as important material in his breastplates. The next example of a bulletproof vest which involved the use of silk is the invention of Galle and Zadarnovsky. Its use was associated with the police department when developing a new type of protective armor. The authors took into account the tests of the silk fabric of Mauritius Laskin and Kazimir Tsiglev. Galle offered several options for body armor. One of the type suggested the presence of a close pillow on the inside and close overlays made of silk hair on the front side in the entire area. Another type intended for officers consists of several shaped plates. The plates were hinged and overlapped. And the metal armor had to be covered with canvas and a cotton wool or silk layer was assumed between the metal layer. Next. The author consistently proves the advantage of silk among other options. And we know that private inventions like Leif Galai also used this material for bulletproof vests. For example, in 1911, the author turned to the Minister of War with a request to assist in the continuation of his experiments to create a metal armor capable of protecting not only from lead but also from nickel bullets. And he attached a kind of this material with this lead. We can see at this picture. We can see this picture. I'm sorry. Just a few minutes. I'm sorry. Also, we can see a few words about the material science, because a definite result from the point of view of material science was the research of Melnikov, in which the engineer examines various types of textiles from the point of view of their possible application in means of protection against bullets. Melnikov conducted comparative tests of silk, rami, hemp, flax, and cotton threads in order to determine the relative strength of the threads at breaking, tensile strength, and torsional strength. And here we can see all the mechanisms, mechanism of Schopper and Martens for determination of these qualities. The author proves the advantage of silk among other options, giving preference to silk wadding pressed from silk vest threads. And at the same time, Melnikov suggests using resinous substances for impregnation, which prevent the penetration of the bullet through layers of fabric. And our conclusions. Russian inventors used their best practices and European experience. An example of such interaction was the acquisition by Avenir Chimerzin in the spring on 1905 a patent from the bulletproof fabric of Kazimir Tsiglev. Secondly, the development of personal body armor has a significant humanistic component, as it is associated with the awareness of the value of human life. This led to the attention to this area in the Russian Empire at the turn of the 19th, 20th centuries, which was reflected in scientific research and tests. The results of these tests was the identification of the special qualities of silk and the selection of this particular material for subsequent use. And the confirmation is contained in the test reports and other similar documents. Thank you very much for attention. Muchas gracias for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Rima. It was quite interesting, actually. Well, if you want to stop sharing your screen, I don't know if you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's perfect. Actually, I didn't know that you can do bulletproof vest with silk. I'm shocked. Wow, that's incredible. Actually, it's the first time I hear you. That's wow. So we have an interesting question. Saito, welcome. Could it be that you have made a bulletproof vest? Does the silk use floss silk? Wow, we have plenty of questions. So one by one, does the silk use floss silk? Is it only for material use and mass produced?
I speak English very bad because I can't understand this question. I think that it was different types of silk and of the quality of silk quality, and so these materials that we have I can't answer this question because very we have no description with many details to answer this question. Maybe Alexei connect us and answer.
Don't worry. Maybe you can leave your email, and then we can, we can email you the questions, and then you can answer them. But in any case, I really enjoyed your presentation because for sure we're working here in Silk now with plain textiles and with custom, and with silk. But it's the first time I hear this, so I learned a lot. So if you want, you can leave your email. You can share with us your email if you want, of course. And then
thank you.
Anyone from the audience has any more questions that we couldn't answer today, maybe we can
yes,
we can answer
later. That the history of technologies and of the silk and the use of silk, it is an author Polish, Sławomir Lotish, and he has an article dedicated to this topic.
Okay, don't worry. I can share later the screen, the video, the email. I already put your email on the YouTube channel. Yeah. So, and I thank you very much, Rima, for this fantastic presentation. And then I'm going to give the floor to Francesca Nuto. So Francesca, if you're here.
Yes, I'm here, sure.
Let me introduce you a little bit. Francesca, she's an economic geographer. She has been working since 2004 in marketing, communications, and public relations for the travel, tourism, and cultural fields. She has a PhD in economic geography from La Sapienza University in Rome. She lives in Canada, where she finished her degree in public relations. She has worked in Madrid, at the World Tourism Organization in the Press and Communications Department. She traveled a lot, especially in Brazil, for the dating travel guide. So she's going to speak about Venice and the Silk, from Silk Road Museum to a geolocated storytelling, which we love technology here in Silk now. So I give you the floor, Francesca, and benvenuta.
Thank you so much. I think you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly well.
All right. So I'm going to share my presentation. Just a moment. Okay. Here we are. Application. All right. Okay. So, as you said, thank you. First of all, thank you for this opportunity to be here today. My name is Francesca Zanotto, and as it was said, I'm a geographer. And the first question is why silk and why Venice? Well, I'm not a researcher on silk. I'm not specialized on this material, but as you can see, there are many words connected with silk and with this conference. And some months ago, I attended a summer school based on online, of course, because now we can only have digital conference and digital summer school. But it was a summer school related to market spaces and about some historical knowledge of Venice, about handcraft, market, and so on. So my focus in the university, I teach economic geography at the University of Turin, but my specialization is on tourism and place image, destination branding, but also urban regeneration. But what I tried to investigate, it was the connection that Venice has with silk, also connected with the Silk Road. Probably all of you knows that, of course, Venice has this special relationship with silk, but not only with silk, but with some other many precious textile, and that the lagoon city gave birth to Marco Polo, and Marco Polo had, of course, a very important role in the development of the Silk Road. Even if we can say that the Silk Road was born before Marco Polo, because it was connected the Roman Empire to China. Venice was a point of reference, of course, for the Silk Road, and still it is throughout this iconic image, but probably also before the Silk Road was important. But of course, Marco Polo and its traveling to China was fundamental for this history of silk in Europe, even if, as you know, China maintained the monopoly for centuries. But of course, as we said, the Silk Road probably wasn't only one Silk Road, but there was many Silk Roads, some main routes, but also some caravan routes and boat routes, of course. Also because the power of Venice in the centuries was based on the Mediterranean Sea, and this power was, of course, shipping goods, shipping material, and from a merchant point of view. But of course, in this conference, we are more focused on the Europe part of silk, but of course, we should have, and as geographer, I would like to broaden this map and also to understand what's the Silk Road is. So it's a much more complicated geography. But going back to Venice, the relation that Venice has with the Silk Road was also a focus of a recent project called Vero Tour that UNWTO, the World Tourism Organization, as you said before, I was working there for a while, and the WNWTO organization developed with some local organization and association a project to try to promote the connection that Venice has along all the Mar Mediterraneo, but also the Adriatic Sea, and along the coast with Slovenia and with all the also Balkan countries, including, of course, Greece and Turkey. So this project was specifically a tourist project to try to see connection between all these cities, because all this area, all this destination, and of course silk is just a part of all the goods that were trade along the route, but of course silk have a specific importance. Well, this project give an idea of what, from a geographical point of view, we can see that here this route could connect different points, and every point could tell us something about the history, about the trades, about the silk, and so on. And this was a particular focus that help us also to develop a specific research interest. Well, Venice, of course, had a lot of focus about silk, and in 2013 there was during the Biennale di Venezia there was a special exhibition focus on silk map, and some artists were try to make arts looking to some traditional silk production that we will see during this presentation. But of course, Venice has a lot of past initiative and events to promote, to try to understand what the silk and Silk Road were for Venice. But now today I would like to talk to you to a project that is going to be developed in Venice. I'm part of the scientific committee of this association that is going to carry out the project, and is focused on Lido di Venezia Island, but it's a narrow island just in front of Venice, and the location is near the Parrocchia of San Nicolò del Lido. What are going to be there? Well, there is a cultural recovery project aims to create a museum of Silk Road to enhance the cultural and the commercial connection between East and West. And there are two main buildings, Pepe Barrack on the left photo, and the cloister of the monastery of San Nicolò del Nido, the right photo, and these two buildings have been entrusted to this association, FISPMED, the International Federation for Sustainable Development and Fight to Poverty in the Mediterranean Black Sea, that is a network of 229 partners from 39 countries, and for 50 years they have this location, and they are going to develop a renovation program. Well, you can see some more picture here, a panoramic view, one from the lagoon area, and the other from the sea part. Why these buildings are so important? Well, the Pepe Barrack dates back 1591, and it was the first barracks for military troops of this type in the world. Instead, the monastery of San Nicolò del Nido and the cloister are also even more ancient foundation. This project, well, for the Pepe Barracks, an international campus probably is going to be created. This area is abandoned since 20 years. Now the situation is pretty complicated, but the idea is to open an international campus. And instead, on the monastery, well, the idea is to open a museum dedicated to the Silk Road, to the old and new Silk Road, especially, that can be accessible for everybody, of course, the museum. And well, and the idea is also to create connection with existing museum of Silk Road that already existed in China, and to create partnership with the Western Silk Road working groups. That is a project that was co-financed with the European Union COSME program. At the same floor, a creation of other exhibition for artists and enogastronomy is going to be created. This is a part, or east part of Lido, Venice, where there is also an important church, Church of San Nicolò del Nido, that hosts the remains of San Nicola. One part is in Bari and the other part is in Venice. That is the Santa Claus. So another saint that connect east and west. When the association thought which could be the best team to create a museum, silk was considered the most important, also because this is the entrance gate of the sea before the building of the long Ponte della Libertà that connect with the mainland. Well, as you can see, the project is much broader, because also artist house is going to be created, an observatory think tank for the Mediterranean, a Sartak Academy, Hospitality International School, and other events and other spaces for events. But well, from the Silk Road Museum, the idea is to create, well, this area, as you can see, it's just a few minutes boat from San Marco, and it's the only area of central Venice where cars can drive. So also for feasibility, for accessibility for people that need some help, this can be a good location area. The idea is connected to the Silk Road Museum, also to the story related to silk heritage in Venice, thanks to an app called the Tellingstone that can allow to geo-reference the stories of all kinds, both territorial or thematic. What is Tellingstone? Well, Tellingstone is a technological narrative system, is an app that is already available on Apple and Androids. It's a meta app because it's an app that can be replicated in various contexts. It's not a local app. It goes further the idea and the concept of a local app, and it allows visitors, but also residents, to live and visit the territory in an original and innovative ways. Many cards can be, well, the app works throughout the cards. A card can be, as I said, from connected with a territory, with a place, but can be connected also to a team, to an issues, as silk, for example. So it's not specific of a destination, but it's specific with a subject. And of course, this card is flexible. Well, the solution is flexible, scalable, and interoperable, and can give some benefits both for people that are going to use, the final user, but also for people that are going to create the cards that can have some benefits of communication, put this person directly in contact with the destination or with the project. This app allow the proximity and push notification. What they are? Well, it's a kind of way to explore destination and how it can be done. It can be done with a beacon, that is a sensor that is programmed to send a proximity message to a person, to the smartphone, when you are close to this sensor, and can send a history, a story about the location. And can be done also with a geofence. Geofence is a kind of bubble. And when you enter in this bubble, also in this way, a message can be sent, a proximity message. This second solution doesn't need any hardware, but of course, any of this situation can be used. It depends. For example, beacon is more specific for indoors location, and geofence for outdoor environments. And where the GPS, the signal, it's more present and correct. In Venice, there are some GPS problem because not only the geolocalization is correct. But of course, this app allowed also not only to create stories, but also to manage stores, their services, and you can see the some two visualization, street panoramic background. But in the same time, of course, the idea is not to allow only user to know a story, but also to be able to book any kind of service. That can be a restaurant, can be a museum, can be a market, or wherever other service allocation has. For example, a beach, for of course during the COVID emergency, many services need to be to count the number of people present, and this can be applied also for public spaces as well, for square, for example. In Turin, this app is also in experimentation for, of course, the management of public space during the events. So in Venice, the Tallinn Stone application is already present because all the majority of palaces around the canal were place in this app. But the idea and the suggestion is to try to tell the history of silk in Venice, geolocalizing the stories, even if not many handcrafted weavings survive in Venice. There are, of course, Luigi Bevilacqua, that still have some traditional weavers. Rubelli is another historical company, but now it's more a international company in other country, even if they have a showroom still in Venice. And another interesting case is the Fortuny Atelier. Fortuny was a Spanish, of course, artist that also was painting a lot of tissues, and including silk, and it's present in Venice as well, even if it's more recent. This within this, of course, realities can be geolocalized. Luigi Bevilacqua, Rubelli, and Fortuny in the Giudecca Island. But my investigation was trying to discover which are really the most important areas for silk in Venice. And they are the west area of the Cannaregio district, in particular the parish of San Geremia and San Marcuola, that you can see in this slide. And I try to understand the location between Cannaregio, Santa Croce, and Dorso Duro. The silk was located far from the main historical center, because of course it was cheaper to live there, and it was more industrial area far away. As you can see from the 1795 waivers in Venice, in the middle of the 18th centuries, the 84% was in Cannaregio, 9% in Dorso Duro, and 7% in Santa Croce. Cannaregio, of course, was the most important area. Who was visiting this area was noticed hundreds and hundreds of looms swinging at full speed. And a strategic point was the Ponte di Cannaregio, or Ponte delle Guglie, an area that was really important for silk work, for Mestiere della Seda. And this connection is also because in this area it was very important for the presence of embassy and a lot of traders. And the Jewish area, it was also here. So even if, of course, there are not so much waivers still in Venice, the idea is to try to tell the history of Venice throughout all the places that could be palace, theater, churches, basilica, but also to tell throughout the museum of the tissues and the fashion that is present in Venice. Well, this is my presentation, and if you have any question, please feel free to ask me anytime.
So thank you very much, Francesca. Grazie. It was a wonderful presentation. I really like it. I enjoyed a lot about every time we have silk and technologies. It's amazing because silk now it's about that. And you said about you talk about the silk roads, and this is something that we also try. If you want to stop sharing your screen, it's
all
okay.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, we have, I really like that part because of course we are also saying that we are trying to encourage and to improve the European silk route. So we have a couple of questions here for you. Yes. And you talk about a museum first that you are going to do, you're preparing this silk museum. And someone is asking what type of collections will be hosted in this museum? Are you going to have like, I don't know, textile collection? So it's going to be a panel or a historical museum?
Not idea yet. Well, any suggestions are welcome. It will not be a silk museum, probably. It will be a Silk Road museum. So the idea is to ask also other countries if they have any particular historical pieces or tradition that they want to display or to tell the story and so on. So this can be, of course, a part of the this is part of the project, the European part, of course, of the Silk Road, but also the international part. And I explain as only one part of the Silk Road projects that we know that could be easily replicated is throughout this app. So this app can open other door and geolocalize the stories to different location. Also to say what you have in front. I mean, if it could be a specific textile or a specific things that happen in one century or another, or I don't know, a problem that it was solved, or a specific color that was used. Well, any things can be told, but also geolocalized. This was the idea.
Oh, that's great. So we can say that we can encourage our listeners and the rest of museums that are here to be part of this project and to talk to you, and even us as a Silk Now project here in Valencia.
Yeah, that's why people working at that was working at the WTO suggest me this conference. As I said, I'm not specific researcher about silk. I don't know almost anything about silk. I have some silk dress, but not. I don't know. I could not recognize different textile and so on. But I know that silk have a big potential. Even if, of course, traditional botteghe, shops or traditional things are not so easy sometimes to find in European cities and so on. We need to go back to tell the history of something we cannot see anymore.
So I think we are going to start to keep talking between each other, because this is quite interesting for us as a Silk Now project, but of course I'm sure for everyone on the rest of museums and researchers that are listening to us and that will be listening to us, because it is recorded. And I have another question, and in this sense is like, who involved in developing this tool? Because you mentioned that you are a geographer, but I don't know if you work with an interdisciplinary team, with historians, or with...
Well, the university is not involved, the University of Turin yet. It's because I had the opportunity to know. I was born close to Venice, actually, even if now I'm in Turin. That's why I try to understand the city of Venice, as many places all the time I have opportunity to go to Venice and to try to discover. I try to be there. That's why, as I show you at the beginning, I was attending this particular summer school that was called about market spaces, that is going to be, it's not finished yet because we are doing a research group. I'm part of a team that is going to develop a project specific on handicraft. In this summer school, there was also a project for a museum of the market of Rialto. Rialto is the main bridge on the Canal Grande, but it was specific for food and all things connected to food. This Silk Road Museum in the Lido, it was by chance that I knew the association that's part of this renovation, and they asked me for my background to give some input to the project. That's why.
Well, this is amazing, and I'm sure many people will be interested in this, because you also, before you were speaking about all the, ancient historical silk trade fabrics, that some of them are still in use, as Belviacqua, but here in Valencia we also have Garin, which is partner from the project. So I think the project that you're developing, it's really, really interesting, and congratulations, because it was amazing. So I don't know if anyone in the audience have any more questions for Francesca, for other speakers. Otherwise, I think we finish with this session, with this panel. So I think we don't have any more questions. I want to thank all our 4 panelists to be here for their time and for their amazing presentations. And I encourage you to stay tuned tomorrow and Friday. We have tomorrow also quite interesting. Well, what I'm going to say, it's our conference, but we have a really interesting day tomorrow in the morning and in the afternoon. And the Friday we are going to finish with 3 round tables about museums, catalogs, and European projects. And the closure is going to be held by Marco Rendina from European Fashion Association. So thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.